The US and China are locked in a high-stakes battle for technological dominance. This rivalry is about more than just market share or economic influence. It is a contest for control over the technologies that will shape the 21st century. From artificial intelligence to 5G networks, the competition is fierce. Tensions have been rising for years, fueled by concerns over intellectual property theft, national security, and economic competition. The Trump administration imposed tariffs on Chinese goods, including tech products. This has escalated into a full-blown trade war. The Biden administration has maintained a tough stance on China, continuing many of the policies of its predecessor. These actions have sent shockwaves through the global tech industry, impacting companies on both sides of the Pacific. At the heart of this tech war is the semiconductor industry. Semiconductors are the brains of modern electronics, powering everything from smartphones to supercomputers. The US has long been a leader in this field, with companies like Intel, Nvidia, and AMD at the forefront. However, China is rapidly catching up, investing heavily in its domestic chip-making capabilities. This rivalry has profound implications for the global economy and the balance of power. The outcome of this tech war will determine which country sets the rules for the future of technology and reaps the economic and strategic benefits. The stakes are high and the world is watching closely. US tech giants like Nvidia and Intel are feeling the heat from the trade war. These companies are caught in the crossfire between Washington and Beijing. Nvidia, a leader in graphics processing units used in gaming, data centers, and artificial intelligence, has been hit by US restrictions on exports to China. China is a massive market for Nvidia, and these restrictions have cut into the company's profits. Intel, once the undisputed leader in microprocessors, is also facing challenges. The company has fallen behind competitors like Taiwan's TSMC in manufacturing advanced chips. The trade war has exacerbated these problems, making it difficult for Intel to access the Chinese market and compete effectively. Both Nvidia and Intel are now facing pressure to diversify their supply chains and reduce their reliance on China. This is a costly and complex process, and it remains to be seen whether these companies can adapt quickly enough to thrive in this new environment. The trade war has highlighted the vulnerabilities of US tech companies that have become overly reliant on China. It has also underscored the importance of maintaining a strong domestic manufacturing base for critical technologies. Apple, the world's most valuable company, is a prime example of a US tech giant caught in the crosshairs of the US China trade war. Apple relies heavily on Chinese manufacturing. Its iconic iPhones are assembled in China by Foxconn, a Taiwanese company with vast factories in the country. The trade war has raised concerns about Apple's dependence on China. Tariffs on Chinese imports have increased the cost of producing iPhones, squeezing Apple's profit margins. Moreover, the political tensions have fueled calls for Apple to diversify its supply chains and reduce its reliance on China. Apple has begun shifting some production to other countries, such as India and Vietnam. However, replicating the scale and efficiency of its Chinese operations is a daunting task. China is not just a manufacturing hub for Apple, it is also a massive and growing market for iPhones, Macs, and other Apple products. The trade war has created uncertainty for Apple in this crucial market. Chinese consumers, fueled by nationalistic sentiment, could turn away from Apple products in favor of domestic brands like Huawei and Xiaomi. This is a nightmare scenario for Apple, as it could undermine the company's future growth prospects. The US China tech rivalry extends beyond hardware to encompass the field of artificial intelligence. AI is widely seen as a transformative technology with the potential to revolutionize industries ranging from healthcare to finance to transportation. Both the US and China are investing heavily in AI research and development, aiming to become global leaders in this strategic technology. The US currently holds an edge in AI, thanks to its world-leading universities, tech companies, and a culture of innovation. Companies like Google, Microsoft, and OpenAI are at the forefront of AI research, developing cutting-edge algorithms and applications. However, China is rapidly catching up, pouring billions of dollars into AI research and fostering a vibrant AI ecosystem. Chinese tech giants like Baidu, Alibaba, and Tencent are making significant strides in AI, leveraging their vast data resources and computational power. The Chinese government has also made AI a national priority, setting ambitious goals to become a global AI leader by 2030. This competition is not just about scientific prestige, it has significant economic and military implications. AI can be used to develop autonomous weapon systems, enhance cybersecurity capabilities, and gain a strategic advantage in various domains. The race for AI supremacy is a key front in the broader U.S. China tech war, and the stakes are incredibly high. Section 5. E-commerce giants clash. Amazon battles Temu, Alibaba, and TikTok. The U.S. China tech rivalry is also playing out in the arena of e-commerce, where Amazon, the undisputed global leader, is facing growing competition from Chinese rivals. Alibaba, China's e-commerce behemoth, has long been a formidable competitor in Asia. It is now expanding its global reach, challenging Amazon in markets like Southeast Asia, India, and even Europe. Temu, a newcomer backed by Chinese tech giant Pinduoduo, is rapidly gaining traction in the US with its aggressive pricing strategy and vast selection of goods. TikTok, the Chinese short-form video app that has taken the world by storm, is also emerging as a force in e-commerce. Leveraging its massive user base and addictive algorithm, TikTok is increasingly integrating shopping features into its platform, allowing users to purchase products directly through the app. These Chinese companies pose a serious challenge to Amazon's dominance. They are leveraging their understanding of Chinese consumers, their technological prowess, and their access to China's vast manufacturing base to undercut Amazon on price and offer a wider variety of products. The e-commerce battleground is heating up, and it remains to be seen whether Amazon can fend off these Chinese challengers and maintain its global leadership. Section 6. Chinese tech titans rise, Huawei, SMIC, and the push for self-reliance. The U.S. China tech war has fueled China's push for technological self-reliance. The Chinese government has invested heavily in its domestic tech industry. U.S. sanctions have made this push even more urgent. Huawei symbolizes China's tech ambitions and its vulnerability to U.S. pressure. Being on the U.S. entity list cut Huawei off from key U.S. technologies. This hurt Huawei's global smartphone business and 5G rollout. Huawei is developing Harmony OS and its own chips with limited success. SMIC is central to China's quest for tech independence. U.S. sanctions have hindered SMIC's access to advanced equipment. Despite challenges, SMIC is progressing but still lags behind leaders like TSMC and Samsung. Section 7. The global tech landscape, caught in the crossfire. The U.S. China tech war is reshaping the global technology landscape, creating a more fragmented and polarized world. Countries and companies are increasingly being forced to choose sides, aligning themselves with either the U.S. or China. This fragmentation has significant implications for global supply chains, technology standards, and the flow of data and information. The U.S. has been pressuring its allies to exclude Huawei from their 5G networks, citing national security concerns. This has created a dilemma for many countries, particularly in Europe, which are caught between their economic interests and their security alliances with the U.S. The tech war is also accelerating the decoupling of the U.S. and Chinese tech ecosystems. Chinese companies are finding it increasingly difficult to access U.S. technology and markets, while U.S. companies face growing challenges operating in China. This decoupling could lead to a splintering of the internet, with separate Chinese and Western tech spheres operating under different rules and standards. This would have profound implications for innovation, competition, and the free flow of information globally. The U.S.-China tech war is not just a bilateral issue, it is a global challenge that requires careful navigation and a recognition of the interconnected nature of the global tech ecosystem. Section 8. Can collaboration emerge from competition? Finding common ground. While the U.S.-China tech war is a reality, it is not inevitable that this rivalry will lead to a complete decoupling or a new Cold War. There are areas where the U.S. and China share common interests and can potentially cooperate, even as they compete fiercely in others. Climate change is one such area. Both the U.S. and China are major emitters of greenhouse gases and have a shared interest in addressing this global challenge. Technology, particularly clean energy technologies and AI-powered solutions for climate modeling and mitigation, will play a critical role in tackling climate change. Collaboration on climate tech could provide a platform for dialogue and cooperation between the U.S. and China, even as they grapple with their differences in other areas. Another potential area of cooperation is in global health. The COVID-19 pandemic has highlighted the importance of international collaboration in responding to health emergencies. The U.S. and China could work together on developing new vaccines, sharing data on disease outbreaks, and strengthening global health security. While the challenges to U.S. China cooperation should not be underestimated, exploring avenues for dialogue and finding common ground on issues of shared interest is essential to prevent the tech war from spiraling into a lose-lose scenario. Section 9. The Future of Tech. A world divided or united. The U.S.-China tech war is a defining geopolitical challenge. Its outcome will shape the future of technology and global power. Both nations have strengths and weaknesses. The U.S. excels in research and innovation. China benefits from scale and centralized policies. The tech war will likely result in co-evolution and competition. The challenge is to compete and cooperate on common interests. The future of technology and the world depends on it.